guys and gals, here we are on today's project, the Bone Crusher. Got this guy back in the shop. Want to get this core support finished up so we can get this thing tore apart again to get our motor and stuff put in. Alright, so we got started here a little bit. Did this front piece up here. Get you in here. Yeah, we're going to be redoing this piece right here. Like I said, we already got started. Sanded everything, back taped everything. It just didn't turn out the way I wanted it with the font. So, we're going to go ahead, put our new stencil on, get this looking a little bit more like what we want. So we'll get our materials ready. We'll cut you back on when we're ready. Alright guys and gals, let's explain what we got going on here today. What you're looking at here is a little tribute I put on for my pops, okay? This is my dad's initials, and he said if he ever decided to open his own shop, that's what he'd call it. So, the reason we're putting this on the Bone Crusher here is because the motor that's going in this bad baby is one of my dad's. That's been under the shelf and never got to put together, so we're going to bring that thing to life. But, I'll tell you, I don't think I did it any justice. So, what we got here, we got ourselves a new font. Alright? And a lot of you guys and gals are probably wondering, why are you going over top of that? And you'll see as we go along here. Let's get this centered. We're up in the core support here where we want it. Sweet. And that's going to be hard for you guys and gals to see, but once I get some paint on this, you'll see. Now, this stencil material, guys and gals, I went out to my local super center and bought myself a Cricut Joy. Now, a lot of you guys and gals probably are familiar with the Cricuts, but I tell you what, for doing custom work and fancy little designs and fonts and stuff like that, amazing little machine. It really helps out with doing these stencils. You don't have to depend on somebody to cut them out for you and waiting on a company to get back to you and all that good stuff. If you can dream it, you can do it. So what we'll do here, we'll peel this transfer tape off here. We'll get our paint mixed up. We'll show you what this is going to look like. Click it back on when we're done. Alright guys and gals, there you can kind of see we got everything back masked off so we don't get any overspray on any of our finished product here. We got our stencil material down and you can kind of see the letters. I want this to be pretty prominent. It's the first thing you're going to see when you pop the hood here. That dry, we're going to peel that decal off and we're going to show you what we got to work with. Click it back on when we're there. Alright, let's get this mask off here and see what we got. There's another little trick for you guys and gals. If you're going to be doing multiple layers, back tape this so you can take it off in stages instead of having to retape everything. Because we're going to have to come in here a couple different times. Different shadowing and whatever else we choose to do. So we want to minimize our waste. Guys and gals, I know it's hard to tell, but you can see that how beautiful that transferred for us. Now, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to make a negative up to put over top of that to get rid of the original behind it. But it just goes to show you, okay? If you don't like the way something is, you don't have to condemn a whole paint job. You can fix these things up with a little forethought and a stencil machine, of course. Okay, so let's get that ready. We'll show you what that looks like and click you back on. Alright guys and gals, here we go. We got our next color loaded up here. Alright guys and gals, we're going to come back in here with black and highlight each one of our gold letters. Now, I know it's really hard to tell here, but there is a stencil over each one of those letters that we previously put in there. Let me see if I can get you closer so you can see it. There you go. Now, what that's going to do is keep my gold preserved underneath that. Now, I went through to get rid of the original design, which had this primary color, this bright green in there. I used that to hide all the original DRS Performance. So now we're going to go back in here and highlight this with the black to give it the pop. Alright guys and gals, here we go. We got the black. Now, what we're going to do here, we're going to go around each one of those letters very carefully just to give it a back shadow. It's going to make it pop. And there you go, guys and gals. We got our black all done. Now, what we're going to do here, we're going to let this sit. We're going to let this dry really good before we take our stencil off to reveal our actual design. So we'll click it back on when we're ready. All right, guys and gals. Some time has passed. Let's see what we got here. It's either going to be good or not good at all. Alright guys and gals, our last step. What we're going to do here, we're going to take our 1500, get that wet, and we're going to distress this. I'm going to give this an antique look. That's what we're after. All right, we're gonna let that dry. We're gonna move on to the next step. All right, guys and gals, here we go. Let's see. Oh man, tell you what, I like the way that looks. Now we will have to come back in here and clear this, but this has been an ongoing process. So we're gonna do a little bit over here, maybe some artwork over here, then fine detail this, get this all under clear. As the plan is, put this gal back together. Our firewall there. I do under her hood yet. But I wanted to mop the motor up and figure out how much of this I'm going to have to get rid of first before I finish doing any of that. And our cowbacker, we're going to do something cool with that. So, there you go, guys and gals. Just goes to show you, if you got something on there you don't like, there's always a means of fixing it. So there's just an example of something I didn't particularly care for. Had to come back in and revisit it. So there you go. Before we go, I'll show you what this is going to look like when it's under clear. Let me get my little trick here. All right. Let's show you this. Little trick here. See what something looks like when it's going to be cleared. Give you a kind of an idea. There you go. So that'll be the first thing we see when we pop the hood and show off Pops' motor. Alright, guys and gals, you know why we do it. For the love of hot rods and horsepower. Go out there and get yourself a project. Start enjoying it. We'll catch you on the next one.